Good Sunday morning. It is time for encouragement, and I've got something to share with you today that I believe is going to really make a big difference for you. You know, I've gone through times in my life where I really needed to hear this, and it was hard to find anybody that would tell it to me. So you might be there today, and I just hope this blesses you and really encourages you. A couple of weeks ago, I started in on Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And then last week, I had to divert to something, but I want to get back to that in verse 2 of Psalm 23. And I actually wrote this down to make sure that I didn't forget it. It says, He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. And this, of course, is talking about peace. It's talking about peace of mind. And I've discovered that everybody wants that. Everybody's looking for peace. They're looking for peace of mind. Where do I find it? Because for most of us, our life is full of stress and problems, and peace of mind is like the intangible commodity. Well, that's a contradiction in terms. It's something that's hard to find. You know, I write for entrepreneur.com, and I've written for success.com. These are online magazines, and they've got millions of subscribers. And, of course, there's thousands and thousands of articles, so you're not going to get millions of readers. But it's not unusual for one of those articles to get 500 shares, right? Like you do a Facebook post, you get 500 shares. You just blew it out of the water. But even 1,000 shares on one of those articles is not unusual. Well, I wrote this one article that got 1,000 shares, and then it looks like it had 5,000 shares. And I thought, that can't be right. So I asked Joanne about it, and she's like, no, they couldn't possibly have 5,000 shares. And we looked, and sure enough, it did. And I looked later, and it had 10,000 shares. And then it had 14,000 shares. And then it disappeared for a while, and it came back, and it ran up again, and it hit 35,000 shares. Now, what do you think that article was? It was 5 ridiculously easy things you can do every day to feel happy. People are looking for happy. They're looking for peace of mind. They're looking for a break. How do I relax? I got all this stress. I got all these problems. I don't know what to do. Where do I find peace of mind? Well, let me tell you, it is offered in all kinds of different ways. Religions have their way. Hinduism has a way to peace. Buddhism has a way to peace. Psychology has a way to peace. You can go deep down inside of yourself to find peace. Don't go there. That's a cesspool. You'll find memories of yourself, and they're going, come on in, it's slimy. You can join the witness protection program and forget yourself and go and find peace as somebody else, somewhere else. You know what? You're not going to find peace that way. There's only one way you can find peace. People are looking for peace in religion, in psychology, in self-evaluation, in meditation, in escaping, and of course, my favorite method, drugs and alcohol. But all of these things are missing the one element that actually delivers peace. And what is that? It is tapping into the supernatural power of God, who can do things outside of yourself. You don't get peace fixing it yourself. And when you see this in the scriptures and you notice that theme, you just see it over and over and over and over again. And I'm going to give you just a few examples, and I wrote these down. Okay, Hebrews chapter 12. Of course, we know that Jesus said that he endured the cross, right? Despising the shame. But what does it really say? For the joy set before him, he endured the cross. God the Father already had a plan through it and out of it to something better. And Jesus focused his eyes and his mind on the joy that was set before him, not on the pain. Here's another one. Psalm 34 says, I sought the Lord and he answered me and delivered me out of all my fears. It wasn't just me. It was God who delivered me out of my fears. Jeremiah says, prophecy, call to me and I will answer you and show you great and mighty things you do not know. That is outside of yourself. In John 14, Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. And then he tells them why. Because I'm going to my Father. I'm preparing a place for you. I'm coming back. That's not something you can do. That is outside of yourself. Listen to this from Psalm 34. I will instruct you and teach you in the way which you should go. I will counsel you with my eye upon you. You can't instruct yourself in the way you should go in a way that is outside of yourself. You need the supernatural power of God on the outside. Okay, it's like this. I want you to picture this. You're in the quicksand and you're sinking. And all of these methods of getting peace of mind are temporary, and they're all within you. And maybe you find an element of peace for a short period of time, but you're sinking. And eventually you realize that I can't save myself, and all the peace is gone. Psalm 40 says this, he brought me up out of the pit of destruction, out of the miry clay, and he set my feet on a rock, making my footsteps firm. God is a doer. He does things. There's so many people that don't believe that. They just believe you pray and it's just, oh well, whatever happens. But God does things. Many, O Lord, my God, are the wonders which thou hast done. You know, just since the last couple of days, I have heard 5 miraculous things that God has done in people's lives. God does things. You know, I was an entertainer for Carnival Cruise Lines for a while, and there was a cruise director on there that just couldn't tell the truth. He got a nickname. Well, let's say his name was John Smith. He got the nickname John the Truth Healed because he would lie about everything. Of course, he had 2,600 passengers pulling on him, wanting him to do stuff, and he'd say, yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah, I'll take care of that. I said to him one day, you think you'd get me a TV in my room? He said, yeah, I can get you one. Yeah, I know a guy that's got one. I'll get you one. Then I saw him later. Any news on the TV? Yeah, I talked to him. He said you could have it. I found out later there was no TV. He just lied. You know, somebody's making a promise to you. It feels good for a little bit. Then when you realize it's not true, all the peace is gone. God is just the opposite of that. I mean, I would have hated to have fallen overboard and have John the Truth Smith say, I'll throw something in the water for you to save you. You know, he's the dinghy. It wouldn't help me any at all. God wants us to find peace in him, not just in our mind, not just something we believe, not just a feeling that we have, but actually tapping into the supernatural power of God and living in expectation that he will come through. Isaiah 26:3 says, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Can you put a period right there? Well, you can, but if you do, you miss the goodies. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee because he trusts in thee. Not just to say stuff, but to come through. God is one who reaches in and pulls you out and leads you in the way he wants you to go. Well, hey, look, I hope this has been important to you. Be sure to share this video with your friends. Do hope you enjoyed the video and have an awesome day. And as always, you're welcome.